Hi, this is Dr. Victoria Scribble speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And as promised, I want to take a look at the Georgia Gubernatorial Race between Stacy Abrams and I think it's Brian Kemp. As it stands, Brian made, I think, 50.4% of the vote, and Stacy Abrams got 48 point something percent of the vote. And in Georgia, you have to get at least 50% of the vote to win. If you don't get 50% of the vote, there's a runoff or a runoff. And which, you would say that he got the votes he needed, except that he was the Secretary of State in charge of the election. So there's a, what do you call that? You know what it is. It'll come to me perhaps. And then he was suppressing the vote, and there was all kinds of problems with the voting machines, especially in black districts. So there is a question as to what shenanigans occurred, and she would not concede the race until there was a recount. So we'll see how that goes, but that's the question I'm gonna look at. So I'm gonna look at Brian Kemp and Stacy Abrams, and I'm gonna do it the way I did in Florida. I'm gonna first look at Brian Kemp. I'm gonna use the Rider-Waite for him, and then we'll look at Stacy Abrams. I'll use a different deck. And then if we need to get further elucidation, we'll use the Tower of the Spirit. That was fun using three tarot decks. All right, so I'm almost done shuffling. And I apologize that you can't actually see me do this, but I have to use my tablet because my computer sort of pooped the bed. So here we go. So this is Brian Kemp. His immediate environment. I guess he's holding all the coins. He's a little shut down here. He's concerned. He's trying to hide behind his status somehow. What's crossing? The King of Cups. King of Cups. I'm just going to leave that there as a crossing card. We'll see if I can. I don't actually understand what that is yet. At the root, we have the Chariot card. This can also be the Victory card. So at the root of it is he certainly believes he's won. He certainly believes he's done enough. In the past, he was fighting a battle, but he had the upper hand, or he had the upper ground. He was conflict of interest. That's it, conflict of interest. But he had a conflict of interest, right? He was in charge of the thing he was running for. That's not right on any level. What's in the sky? He continues to work. And this is working and doing the same thing over and over again. And he's been an expert at voter suppression in Georgia. So I think he's continuing to do whatever he can do to suppress the vote, even with the eyes of the world sort of looking at him. And the outcome is the smug satisfaction card. So that kind of looks like he might get his wish, smugly and satisfied. This crossing card might be Donald Trump. I don't think I've actually heard him say anything about it, which could be like the wild card, like it's either going to help him or hurt him. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's see Stacy. Now we're going to use the Conley deck for Stacy. A little prettier anyway, so a little more feminine. Okay. She is quite a woman, and quite a powerhouse. Black woman against a white man. Yin and yang, right? Okay. The future and the past meet, clashing in Georgia. Okay. There she is, the Queen of Swords, taking no shit. That's her asking for justice, her asking for fairness, her asking for the recount. She is stalwart, and she's understands. She understands what she's up against, because she's had to fight this battle over and over and over again. The crossing card is the Magician. The power is kind of out of her hands now. She doesn't really have the power in this situation. And that's probably because the suppression stuff is so ingrained in the system that there's only so much she can do. And it's always sort of going to, at least up to this point, I mean, after this perhaps it changes, but at this point we're still sort of dealing with working within the old system, right? Okay, at the base, the Sun. That's interesting. It's the same card that Gillum had at the base. That was much more positive. It was a positive thing for him. So on the base of Kemp, we have a victory card, and then the base of Stacy, we have the Sun. Okay. In the past, the Eight of Wands, lots of information, lots of votes, unorganized perhaps, okay? Lots of balls in the air, lots of things she had to be aware of and work through and work at because of, I think, the ingrained suppression of the black vote and the poor, the vote of the poor, and the Democratic vote. In the sky, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords certainly isn't as knowledgeable and full of wisdom as the Queen of Swords. And this is just the environment so this is in battle. She feels embattled. There's an embattlement. She feels like she's fighting for right, but perhaps the enemies are just overwhelming. Okay, let's see. Her outcome. Okay, so her outcome is the Hanged Man. And that, in relationship to this and this, it looks like Kemp will win. But what I'll say is that he may get the victory, but she is shedding the light. And I think that in the long run, ultimately, and I don't think, unless he gets arrested or something for the shenanigans, but I mean, what are the chances of that? But she has shone a light on something that had yet to be shown a light upon, and that's going to change things for her. And so this may not be her time to be governor, but she certainly made her mark, and she doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to give up. So I like her very much. She just have to be, again, just like Gillum, has to, for a different reason, I think, has to be careful. I think there are people out there that would want to hurt her. So again, she needs to be extra careful. You know, in this environment, to be willing to put yourself out there to help people, to help your state, to help your people, is braver than we could know. I think most of us wouldn't be able to do it. In fact, it's hard enough to be on YouTube and be talking to you guys about this stuff. But I can't imagine being in the situation that she's in. Okay, at the bottom of Kemp's, we have the Lovers. That's the choice card. At the bottom of, wrong. Just grabbed the wrong deck. The bottom of Stacy, we have the Lost card. So it does look like it's going to be Kemp. Now, I'm not happy about it, but things are going to change because of what Stacy Abrams has done, and we can't forget that. We can't forget that. Let me just pull just a couple of cards from the Tarot of the Spirit about just about Stacy. Even though she looks like she's not going to be the winner, let's just see if let's see her past, present, and future. Oops! Wow, look at that. That jumped out. Two of Cups. It's a lovely, lovely card. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Convergence. Two of Wands. Things coming together for her. And the Mastery card. Four of Wind. Pick another. The Nader. The Power card. Oops, I read it wrong. I didn't see it right through the camera there. Power. And the Mother of Earth. So, even though she doesn't win the governorship, it really looks like this is a loss, but what's coming for her is gain, and what's coming for her is a change of fortune. People coming together, mastering and building a power base, and then ultimately coming across as the Mother of Earth. The wise woman, the practical woman, the grounded woman, and a woman in power. So this is not the end for Stacy Abrams. It's just the end of this particular chapter in her amazing life. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry, I know I'm looking in different places. I'm using my tablet, so I'm not really even sure where to look. So I look here, I look there, but I really want to be looking at you. So when I figure this out, maybe I'll actually get to look at you guys. Like and subscribe, and have a great weekend. I'll be in Cohasset tonight, Cohasset, Massachusetts, for those people who know where that is. If you have any questions about that, if you happen to live in the area, you'd like to come see me, email me at vickyscurbo.com. vickyscurbo@gmail.com. Hello. That's VICKI, Skirbo, my last name. You can see it on the channel at gmail.com. Okay, great. I hope to see somebody from out there at the talk tonight. Starts at 7:30. Okay, ciao.